Welcome back. The largest body of lawyers, the Nigerian Bar Association, also intervened in topical issues that shaped the year. In this next interview, the General Secretary of the Bar shares with us some of the plans of the Bar for its members this new year. But first, an assessment of the performance of the judiciary.
When the year started, it started well. And before you know what happened, April 6th, Jusun strike. And this took us 2 months because it started April 6th and ended 7th of June. And within this period, there was a backlog, huge one, for the system. And it really affected the system because coming back to start giving dates was a problem because we know that most of the time when they even called off the strike, when you go to court, they will say there is no date until maybe 6 months after, 1 year after. So it was really bad. But the fact is that I will say the judiciary tried because, you know, we have men and women of capacity there. They tried their best. Because, you know, even in your house, when you have a backlog of some days, not to talk about backlog of 2 months, it was difficult. And from what we have in our system, you know, the COVID problem also affected the judiciary. COVID issue in the sense that we in Nigeria, we have not really picked up from where we are supposed to pick up from. Most jurisdictions is different. The COVID stuff have really helped them. They have gone tech-wise. But in Nigeria, no, we are still in our analog system. You know, you go to court, the judge is still taking its, his records by hand. It's really difficult, Shola. You know, we are putting them under so much pressure. And I think all this boils down to the same thing, the independence of the judiciary. And you know that was the reason why JUSUN, that is the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, went on strike because of their independence. So you find out that this was really a problem for them. And you look at it, in Lagos had a problem. When this issue happened last year, you find out that Lagos, the court, was burnt down. And that was one of the best courts and one of the biggest courts in the country. And if you know what is happening in Nigeria, you find out that more than 70% of the cases in Nigeria is actually in Lagos. And with this, it really affected the judiciary. So you find out that there are a lot of things we need to do for the judiciary. And this talk of the independence of the judiciary, it's very, very important. We know that the federal government have adhered to that. The states, some of the states are working on that. Some still needs to do it. So we're using this opportunity to call on them to try and make sure that the independence of the judiciary, it's given to them.
So talking about the financial independence of the judiciary, what specifically is the NBA doing to help the judiciary attain financial autonomy?
If you check the constitution of the NBA, part of our objective is also to defend the judiciary. And I can afford to tell you that Mr. President and the ESCO and the NBA, they are really working hard on this to, protect the independence of the judiciary and also to call forth for the independence of the judiciary.
Are you meeting with state governments to exert pressure on them?
Yes, I know that the president have spoken with some state governors in respect of that. And their feedback also have been good. Because some states, I don't just want to mention, have said that, okay, we have given our judiciary the independence that they need. And all this is because of also the pressure that the NBA is putting on them. Apart from the strike, the NBA is still, advocating and also interacting with the governors to be able to give the independence to the judiciary.
One other issue that I want to also talk about is we saw that the NJC recently came out to punish 3 judges for giving conflicting court orders across board. They said that they would be barred for a period of 2 to 5 years from promotion. And then some people have asked questions about the lawyers who filed those processes, knowing that same subject matter, same parties were before some courts, before engaging in forum shopping to file those cases before other judges. At the last NEC meeting of the NBA, we heard that the NBA resolved that those lawyers would be reported to the Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee. Where are we with that? Has the NBA reported them? Do we have any idea of when the panels will start sitting, when they will start to hear these cases? And, just generally give us information about that.
We're so happy when we heard what the NJC did concerning those judges by saying that, okay, your promotion is frozen for 2 to 5 years because of what they did. Actually, they did well. And like you just said, NEC, in our last NEC meeting of December 16th, in Abeokuta, NEC resolved on that also. We set up a committee. A committee was set up by the president, and they came up with also their report, and their report was looked into. And like you said, the lawyers, what they're doing now is actually getting the processes. From the processes, you know the lawyers that were actually involved in the matter. And once those names are put together, it's going to be sent to the LPDC. And there's something I want to clarify, like the new rules of the LPDC, March 2020, that came up, does not give the NBA the power any longer to investigate matters against lawyers. So it's the LPDC. So once we get those lists, it will be forwarded to me, actually the list from the committee as the General Secretary of the NBA. So it will be forwarded to me. I will put it together. We will now send it to the LPDC to, look at the matter and see what punishment also they will need to met out on the lawyers that did that. So that should be a deterrent.
But do we have a time frame within which all these processes, you say the NBA is in the process of gathering all the processes to determine the lawyers. Do we have a time frame within which this is supposed to be done?
In less than 2 weeks, they should be able to do that. Okay. I believe that in the first few weeks of January, by God's grace, we should be able to come out with that.
And then the LPDC will start to sit.
Then
because people are worried that if it takes too long, it might be swept under the carpet.
Oh, no, not under this government. Not under this government. It will be swept under the carpet because it really matters. Because the NBA really need to sanitize itself. And that's what the NBA is doing.
I also want to talk about the issue of welfare of lawyers.
Yeah.
This current administration, the leadership of the NBA, it was one of the things on which they came into office. We're going to address issues of welfare. And I see that the NBA president has rolled out some initiative. For those who don't understand, what this is all about, can you just break it down?
For the welfare of the NBA, members of the NBA, it has really been wonderful in this administration. For example, we have the insurance, life insurance. And when it comes to that life insurance, it was there before we came in, but it was 1 million. When we lose a member, the insurance company will pay 1 million. But when our administration came in, there was a negotiation. The president thought, okay, it's good to take it higher. There was this negotiation with the insurance company. So once one loses a member now, what the person gets is no longer 1 million, but 2 million. You can see the improvement. And then number 2, we also have a permanent disability, 1 million, and critical ailment, 500,000. Not only that, the president met with the ESCO and discussed, and then later on got to NEC and got the approval to pay for 1,000 lawyers free of charge. Maybe our lawyers that we feel that cannot pay. So about 1,000 was our pilot program. So with the 1,000 now, we have started. Not only that, the NBA had to pay. We had to pay 15 million for those 1,000 people. But it's open to all lawyers. It's open to all lawyers.
As long as you pay your practicing fees and your
practicing fee, you are entitled to it. But it's not free this time. You pay 15,000, and that 15,000 covers for a year. No,
yearly.
Just stay for a year, and it doesn't only cover just primary and secondary ailments. It moved from primary, secondary, and tertiary ailments. So it's really good. It was a really wonderful negotiation. At the last NEC meeting, we have what we call the cash finance scheme. Now, most lawyers, they want to open a law firm, but they don't have the cash to do that. The president talked about that bank. We're working on it, finalizing it, to be able to get loan for maybe their office equipment, loan for their books, their library, and a lot. And with that, we are going to, there's this fund, the MBA fund. We're going to start it off with 1.5 billion. You understand? So that would be like a stabilization fund.
Yes,
stabilization fund for our members that will want to take the loan. And once they take the loan, and the loan, not loan, most loan now is double digits, right? But this time around, we have been able to negotiate for it to be just a one digit, single digits
wow.
loan, which might be 9%, which might be 8%, but the fact is that the banks will still look at the way that one will be able to pay, and I think it's something worth doing. It's a wonderful initiative by this administration.
That's the show. Thank you for watching. Please catch up with past episodes on our YouTube page. I'm Shola Shele, wishing you all a happy new year.